Good morning, everyone. Today we are driving through the heartland of southern Chile. A lot of farmland through here, bigger farms than what we're used to, cornfields and the like, modern facilities. A lot of tree farms and things, but it looks like this area, and I don't know if y'all heard about it, but Chile had some massive devastating fires. And this area we are coming through, we've been driving for miles, is just absolutely scorched. And this only happened, I think, a few months ago.
It covered huge swaths of land here. And I think this is just the very southern tip of it. It went all the way north and it just devastated hundreds of thousands of acres. But yeah, I think we finally reached that area we were hearing so much about on the news.
But we are leaving the Andes mountain range and we are headed to
The coast!
the beach. Now we're always attracted to water and we're always headed to the water, whether it's a lake, a river, a waterfall, a glacier, snow, ice, something. But
This is the Pacific Ocean.
Pacific Ocean, the coast of Chile. Let's go. And I don't know if I captured it on the video. If you look closely though, behind the trees, you'll see there's a giant sawmill, and we've come through several of those. Different than the ones that we've seen further south where they're a little smaller and private. These are huge. A lot of eucalyptus tree farms through here, and you can see where a lot of them are burnt. I'm wondering if maybe they didn't cut a lot of them down that were burnt, because all of these sawmills through here have just big stacks of lumber. But I didn't realize, I don't think we realized we were coming through this area, but the fires, the area that we're seeing was burned, is definitely far-reaching.
It is a long drive day today, but we're going through an area Kurt's already told you where all the campgrounds and all the stuff is just closed because this is a summertime tourist area. So we're looking at about 4 hours of driving today. But we still need to think about getting the kitty cats outside and getting them a little activity and getting them a walk. So on long driving days like this, we're always looking for a good spot to pull over and walk the kitties. Now we're coming through a small little city here, and there was a perfect little city park, soccer field, workout area, running track, where we were able to get these guys out and get them a good walk.
And off on the horizon, you can see we have made it to the Pacific Ocean yet again.
Woo!
Actually, I think this is going to be, oh, look at this. I think this is our final trip to the Pacific coast in quite a while. Need to soak it in. I don't know if we've mentioned this before, but Chile is, I think, the first country where pedestrians truly have the right of way. And any of these crosswalks, if you stop in them or you don't let people go, they will let you know about it. Now, we've made a mistake a couple times, but we are pretty good about it. We've actually stopped in other countries for pedestrians. People kind of looked at us. But Chile, it's a big thing. Parking in any city in Chile, no matter how big, has been a challenge. It has been described to me that a lot of these towns were built before there was roads, and so when they added the roads, it just didn't allow for room for parking. In any event, we found a spot nestled up against a tree over there, and yeah, we're headed over to take a shower.
We found parking about 2 blocks away from the hostel where we're finally going to get to take a shower. We grabbed some yummy lunch and now we're headed over there. So this is going to feel good. Then it'll be back to the van, and then we got to find a camp spot for the night. And just like that, I'm clean. I'm headed back to the van. Curt is still in there because he's shaving and everything. To be honest, it was an expensive shower, but it's all we could find, so it's $10 a piece, so that was a $20 shower stop. So Curt said he was definitely gonna take his razor in and get all cleaned up.
And things just keep getting worse.
What?
So, we finally did get a shower, which was great. It was a clean bathroom, a good shower. I got a new bald head, got all cleaned up. But I come out and it's raining. So here we are, we come all this way to go to the Chile coast,
And you can't
fog
see a
and
thing.
rain. So anyway, we're gonna head over there. You guys know us, we're troopers.
We're gonna figure it out.
We're gonna see what's going on over at the beach. So that's the marina up here. Oh, I just saw a seal or a sea lion in there. I think that's one laying up on the beach over there. Maybe not, now keep going. So this is a little canal, a little channel, or a jetty, if you will. They have a jetty built out here. So this is clearly how they get out into the ocean in these fishing boats. And they're fishing along the pier. Oh, I wonder if there's crabs here. Ha ha ha. They are definitely doing some fishing out there. And on the jetty, that thing goes out a long ways out there. Look at this. Boca Labu. And that might be a guy out there digging up clams or oysters. I'm not sure what he's doing, but he definitely has a shovel. And those are sea lions. They are not seals. And I could see a bunch of them over across the canal wallering around together. And there's some out here feeding in this little canal. We got a cool little boat. But guess what, guys? This is where we're camping for the night. Boondocking on the beaches of Chile. So you guys know I love a fishing culture.
We have stumbled up on a big one.
But we're kind of struggling because of the rain, so I'm sitting here in the van filming with the windshield wipers on. But a parade of fishing boats have gone out, and it's kind of a mystery to me. I've noticed that several of them have sort of pullers on the side of them, and when I say pullers, they're sort of like a big wheel that they would use to pull up a rope or a line, maybe like pull a crab trap or a long fishing line. I don't know what they're fishing for though right now. I don't see any ice in the boats, or I don't see any coolers, so they look pretty much like they're open compartment, which I would think if they were catching fish, they would have ice somewhere in the boat. And then across the way, Snow can't stand it. She's got to get out the big camera and start filming these sea lions. Prepare for sea lion overload. But it's pretty cool because they're over there fighting. Another thing that's cool along this seawall is there's a bunch of people fishing. So you know me, I'm gonna have my eyeballs on that. So if anybody catches a fish, we're gonna go up there and get the scoop, see if we can figure it out.
The sun has set. Boats continue to go out of this inlet, out to do some fishing of some sort out there. It's still a very heavy mist. We're parked back in the corner, so we're not bothering any of the locals. But what an intriguing little camp spot for us. Now, we didn't come to Lebu just for the fishing culture, although you guys, if you've been following along on the journey, you know we love that. But this is not just a fishing town. It is also a former mining town. So Curt is out mingling with the locals a little bit. You know him, he can't stand it. But tomorrow, hopefully the rain stops. We'll show you a little bit more of this fascinating inlet. Maybe we can catch some of these boats coming in after their long night of fishing.
Go fish. Woohoo! Wow, look at that. Ah! Woo! The Rio Lebu dumps out right here into the Pacific Ocean, and along the river it's lined with tons of commercial fishermen boats, and they're all uniquely painted, and I think that is for the regulations here in Chile. But anyway, there are a lot of boats. And as you move down the river towards the causeway and out the jetty, it's lined with fishermen. Everything here is fishing from something. On one side of that channel, we have the sea lions. And first of all, they love to tussle with their heads in the air like they don't care. Get some sun. But they are vicious and aggressive towards one another. Meanwhile, out in the channel, you'll just see a few of them feasting on some giant fish. And the birds, well, they're opportunistic. They're looking for big shreds of fish to fly off as the sea lions just smash it around, I guess trying to help them digest the food. There must be a lot of fish here because the sea lions are fishing ferociously. And then all the way out the jetty, you can see fishermen. They're either fishing with some type of fishing pole, but more commonly, they fish with what my dad calls is a yo-yo reel. And the reason is you have a tube. We've seen them throughout the world use anything from a Gatorade or a Coca-Cola or water bottle and wrap the string around that to like just a tube where they can wrap their fishing line around, and like you would wind up a yo-yo. So it's a very easy fishing method. You don't need all the expensive gear. You just need a fishing line and a hook. And so you see a lot of that along here. And then of course, as you look off the beaches, off the water, there are just pelicans and seagulls plunging in the water, feasting off of all the things. And believe you me, when these fishermen come in with their catch, they're always trying to scavenge up a few bits from that as well. But speaking of these commercial fishing boats lined up here, the first night, just a parade of them came literally dumping out of this boat dock for like 3 hours it had to be hundreds of boats, and we couldn't for the life of us figure out what they were trying to catch. I did all sorts of speculation, and we learned that they are out catching giant squid. And so, as I said, this is one of the sort of biggest commercial squid areas in the world. And the coastline here is beautiful as well. So not only do you have this very active jetty causeway here, but then you also have sort of a long sandy beach. Now, I would warn anybody traveling here, in areas there's a bit of rubbish, but other than that, really stunning. You can see the rocks, the sheer cliff walls, as well as have the beach atmosphere. And there's some caves over there in the sides of the cliffs. Finally, the sun came out, and after a couple days here watching these boats and these sea lions, we decided to move just a little bit up the way where we could get some different views of this fishing city. Now, there are a couple features up to this spot, even though it's only a short move. And first off, we have this little boat dock or pier out here where we can walk out on and get some nice views of the lighthouse that's over there and the crashing waves and all that stuff. Also, this is right underneath the Boca Labu sign, which is pretty cool. And up above us right here is the Cementerio Symbolico de Pescaderos. Now, I probably pronounced that wrong. It's the symbolic cemetery for fishermen who have been lost at sea. And so this cemetery doesn't contain any bodies per se, but maybe remnants of clothes or other things that would be symbolic to fishermen that didn't return. Now, one of the really great things about this move is, mostly due to rain in our other location, we weren't able to walk the kitties. Now, I took Vanna out and she immediately went up the stairs and got very adventurous really quickly. Much to my surprise, I didn't have my camera, but I took G along the way, and he equally loved this little spot, and we climbed the hill up to the symbolic cemetery, and we had some really cool views and vistas up here, and it was really just a completely different look on this city and fishing community of Labu. Anyway, we started kind of working our way up the mountain, and G was definitely adventurous and climbing up there. So we're going to show you a couple of the cool things that we saw while we were up here. And one of them was down here along the water's edge. If you notice, there's sort of a little shed or shack or shanty over there. And at first I thought someone lived there. I don't think that's the case. I think that's a little workshop. And you'll notice along here there's people gathering seaweed and other things from the water's edge. And they put the seaweed up on these rocks to dry out. So I think it's a little bit of a business there. And some of these guys down here in the rocks, sort of digging with the shovels, I've noticed they're digging for like little worms or something, snails or something in the sand amongst the rocks, and they're using them for fishing. And I've also noticed that the seagulls look and dig for those worms as well. So something, it's a prized food source, but something that these guys use for bait. And, oh, by the way, while we're up here, Snow headed out to the pier, and she is getting a look at this surfing culture here. Check this out.
Just another Friday in paradise. So bring your A game, 'cause you know this party won't stop. We can never run out of time, sipping strawberry lime. You know I wanna share it with you, share it with you, share it with you. Hey baby, if you're looking for some crazy, I tell you everybody's standing in a line for the water. You can come on over, we can take the roller coaster, and you know everybody's looking for a ride in the water slide, water slide. It's getting kind of crazy up in here, got the DJ playing music, everybody wants to hear, yeah. It's getting kind of crazy up in here, everybody wants to ride in the water slide. Baby, if you're looking for some crazy, I tell you everybody's standing in a line for the water slide. You can come on over, we can take the roller coaster. Everybody's looking for a ride in the water slide, water slide.
Sometimes we stumble up on a little town that we plan on just spending one night in, grabbing some fuel, some water, seeing one or two little things, and then getting back on the road, thinking there's nothing special about the town. Sometimes we get really surprised when we show up in those towns, and that was the case for this little town, this fishing village, this little blue-collar town on the Pacific coast of Chile called Lebu. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you guys know when we put out new videos. And don't forget, you can always follow us over on Instagram to see what's going on in between videos. Cheers, guys!